Hello everyone, my name is Nunu. Today we're back with F1 2018 Career Mode here for Season 2, the Australian Grand Prix. Yes, we're for Season 2 here. We have 2 failed developments out of 6, of course, from last episode in Abu Dhabi. We developed 6 different things, of course, with this giant spending spree. Taking a look at development, we're pretty much a solid front-running team, and with those 2 development upgrades, we might actually be a front-running team by Bahrain or China, which is of course very great for us. So we might be in title competition for this season, for Season 2 already. But, well, there's really not anything else than to get into qualifying here for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
So, of course, we're still at the back of the front-running team, so we're still expecting around the 7th or 8th place, according to where our teammate finished. We're just going to wait a little bit, so we can go out a little bit later. Coming on to hard lap, it was an okay lap, you know. There was a little mistake here and there, but it didn't cost too much, maybe 1/10 or something. We get a purple sector 1 there, which should be a good sign, but we're going to the line for 123.1, which is very disappointing. I have to say, I was a bit rotten at this moment. I hadn't played almost a week since Abu Dhabi was uploaded, so it wasn't too good, and I had just played the practice the day before. But here we are. We're almost a second up on this lap as Raikkonen. They're getting very, very close on the inside, but it's 1.3 seconds up. It's going to be 121.7, which is still not good enough. Kimi Raikkonen there, you can see, is a 120. And at the end of the day, Fernando Alonso gets pole position with a 120.8. Fernando Alonso's in pole. That's a great sign for this season and this season's car. Will he be able to fend off the guys for the first victory, for his first victory of F1 2018? We have a very, very disappointing there, down in 13th place. So we'll have to make up a lot of positions to take some points. So for tomorrow, 3 positions to get 1 point, but we want more than 1 point. We want to be best of the rest at least. That's also what our boy Zach Brown expected us to be. Our reputation, we're building it up slow, you know. It's not too great. And coming on to choose our rival, it's like Carl Sainz is in a better car than us, but Roman Grosjean is like in a way worse car than us. It was one of those I wanted to choose. At the end of the day, we choose Roman Grosjean as a rival because we just want to be sure that we can actually get something. But let's just get into the race here at the Australian Grand Prix.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21-race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass.
Thank you, Crofty, for that introduction. So taking a look at our strategy, we're gonna go for a pretty basic strategy. We're gonna go from ultra soft to soft around 1/3 through the race. There's gonna be clear weather all the way through the race. It's expected to take just under 22 minutes. Coming on to the starting grids for 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix. First lap of season 2, lights out, away we go. We get off to an okay, pretty decent start, but not good enough to challenge Perez. There's Ocon there, instantly attacking the Red Bull of Ricciardo there. Ericsson almost going, as we go down the inside and lock up almost. We almost hit Ocon there. Ericsson getting very, very aggressive all the starters. Hamilton there has a terrible start, down into 11th place. He's already out of the points there, as now can go dive it down the inside of Ocon. No, he's just too far away for us to do that. So now we got us to a pretty clean start. Of course, the turn 1 incident there was not too good, to be honest, but looking up the grid towards our teammate Fernando Alonso, he's actually lost 2 positions to the Ferrari. Of course, they have the way best car by quite a margin in the field at the moment. So Fernando Alonso's just lost 2 positions, which was kind of expected for Fernando Alonso. By the way, I'm commentating this couple of days after I actually recorded it and edited it, so I'm kind of lost. I don't really remember what's happening, as we just overtake Ocon there for position on lap 1 still. So up into 9th place from 13th on the grid, which is it's a pretty good start. Yes, you're right about that, Jeff. As just take your cone with us there. That is not the last time around. it is going to happen as Ocon there right behind us. He is DRS and the slipstream as Hamilton tries to slip through as well, but we just squeeze him out so he doesn't. And which we're of course wanting to overtake Ocon back again, but are we really going to do that? So at the moment we're just cruising around alone. Of course, dirty on this track is known to be quite a big thing, but we're just seeing if we can push a little bit, get a couple of consistent fast laps in, as the audio cuts out on lap 3 where we have DRS enabled. So at the moment, if we're taking a look here, we have Hamilton right behind us, who's almost getting that overtake there. He's very, very close to us. Tries to go around the outside down of the chicane, very, very fast chicane, 250 kilometers per hour. But we just get the inside. As here we have again. We have Fernando Alonso there's locked up. There's a Renault comes and smashing into the side of him. There's some front wing, I think, going off to the side. Here we have it from the Renault's point of view. Fernando Alonso was very, very, very large. They was filling up a lot of the track. He could have gone out to the curb, but instead he decided to park his car in the middle of the track. So now he's created kind of this traffic jam, so we kind of managed to catch up to them a little bit. As we're now going into turn 1 there, they're going side by side, all of them. I don't know if Fernando Alonso has lost some front ring, to be honest, as we are getting very, very close to them, as well as Ocon there. So we're really gaining from my teammate making this mistake, but we can't really get in anything on it in this very, very tight sector 2. They're going side by side. We're right behind them, ready if one of them makes a mistake. So we can just go through that little gap that just might open up sometimes. They almost touches Hamilton, tries to go around the outside, but well, he doesn't. We just squeeze him out, as we pretty much always do. We now have a yellow flag there. That's one of the Ferraris. It's Kimi Räikkönen, who's pulled over to the side. His teammate got a little bit caught out by there. We have from the Red Bull, who managed just to catch up so much, but I think it was just an engine issue. So not a great start for Kimi Räikkönen there. We have Hamilton, who just tries to squeeze him out around the outside. We make contact with Esteban Ocon, and we almost get squeezed out onto the grass, but we survive as we just go defensive for Hamilton here, and we get a better exit than Ocon, and into this fast right-hander, we get him for position, and that is an 8th place for us. This is another one. Hamilton really likes to try and go around the outside of that chicane, and now we have a virtual safety car. This one was just for a couple of corners. I don't really understand, but it was just for a couple of corners. There was no retirement during that, but it was just like to troll. The FIA just wanted to troll us, as we're now here on lap number 5 as planned, coming into the pits for the harder compound, the soft tires, I think, or the super soft tires, yes. Are we going to rejoin in front of Esteban Ocon, or are we going to get a complete failure of a strategy here? I actually think we got a little bit held up. It was not too much, but I don't really remember. As Lewis Hamilton gets the fastest lap of 1:23, and the audio is back. Hell yeah, so we just... There's really nothing to do. Paris is right behind us. Hamilton is a long way in front of us. We're just cruising around alone for pretty much the last of the race, trying to see if we can get some consistent laps, but I didn't feel like I was driving too great here. I got a little bit frustrated because I couldn't really drive. Of course, I haven't played this game in a long time at this moment, so I tried my best. Of course, that's the most important thing. As right behind us we have Perez, who's pretty much long way behind us. In front of us we have Hamilton trying to go for the move on Daniel Ricciardo, the Aussie man. He tries to go around the outside, he's just squeeze him around the outside, but Ricciardo keeps it side by side. They're really wanting to go, but Ricciardo ends out on top. Of course, he has the power of the fans, so that might give him just a 10th or 2 and a little bit more confidence, which is key here. It's just Perez on the last lap trying to squeeze around the outside, but we want this 7th place. And talking about that, we come home to claim 7th place here in the Australian Grand Prix. First race of Season 2 of F1 2018 Career Mode. It's looking good until now. It is looking pretty good. But talking about Fernando Alonso, he's had an absolute shocker of a race from pole position to 9th place. He even finished behind us. So something went really wrong in his strategy right there. You can see he's 9th place. He just picked up 2 points. We picked up 6 points, which is, of course, a very positive pass. But Fernando Alonso, wow, that is disappointing. That is very, very disappointing. Sebastian Vettel is your race winner, with Valtteri Bottas right behind him. So at the moment, it is actually Of course, the driver standings are the same as you just saw it, but at the moment, taking up the constructors' championship is actually Mercedes. They have a bit of a better team play. Of course, Kimi Räikkönen retired from the race, so he got no points at all. As now we're now taking a look at our rivalry. We're actually losing against Fernando Alonso, which his AI is great. Maybe a little bit too overpowered, but you know. I'm not really expecting to win the rivalry against Fernando Alonso, but against Roman Grosjean, I'm nothing else than expecting to win against him. As they just felt something on the ground right there. We're gonna purchase a couple of upgrades for the next couple of races. Of course, I'll be back with Bahrain later today, season 2, which is a very exciting thing. But talking about Bahrain, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.